Our nation, our country, our future is built by scientists, by engineers, by innovators, by men and women who see value in learning and in change. The Moses Kotane Institute nurtures future leaders through education in maths and science. Our innovative maths and science program bridges the gap between students and educators, ensuring understanding and efficiency. Become our partner and let's invest in our tomorrow together. The Moses Kotane Institute.
Not sit on your laurels. Some of the companies I know are small companies. It's about re-injecting capital and not buying a BMW too soon, a Ferrari too soon.
Any country would be happy to have these people as entrepreneurs.
The most critical ingredient to achieve that vision is skills.
When you steal public money, my comrade, you are being counter-revolutionary.
Okay, so unemployment, looking for jobs. If there's a man who knows all about that, is the managing director of a recruiting and staffing solutions company, Lulawe. Did I say that correct? Yay! Ladies and gentlemen, Errol Freeman.
Thank you. I'm not a motivational speaker, so just bear with me. But I am a social entrepreneur. I'm a person who's working in the townships, in the rural areas, helping bringing jobs to the people and people to jobs. I'd like you all to just take time just to read this statement from Nelson Mandela. Try, resonate with it. Something that resonates with me. So just give it. I'm now going to show you a quick video. It was very quick. Is it coming up? Is it really? Sorry. Is that not working? Is it not working? Okay, we'll skip that. The outline, basically the national employment crisis, the Lulaway Bridge, Lulaway online platform, the synergy with network partner job centers, and the benefits of Lulaway. We all know the statistics. The statistics are horrible. We've got 25% unemployment in South Africa. We've got an unemployment rate that is exceptionally high amongst the youth between the ages of 15 and 25 years old. There's a skills shortage. There's limited access to jobs. Unfortunately, the situation with the geographic situation in South Africa means that the majority of people are living outside the areas where the jobs are. They're living in the rural areas, not in the cities and towns. And unfortunately, they have very limited access to available jobs. And it obviously has a major social, economic, and educational impact on the country. But we're talking about real people who are disenfranchised, real people whose lives are not fulfilled, real people who just have absolutely limited opportunities out there. So it's a real situation with real people that are being affected. The challenges facing the job seeker, there are many challenges, but there's a basic lack of access to job information. You know, they just don't have access to the information about jobs and available jobs. They don't have the resources to get access to that information. They have lack of internet access and rural exclusion. We come from very humble beginnings. As I said, I'm a social entrepreneur. I'm out there in the townships. I'm doing the work, you know, on the ground roots. And we come from internet cafes. And over the last couple of years, the internet cafe industry has taken a major slump because due to the advent of smartphones and broadband, etc., etc. But we've got more and more people coming to our centers, coming to our cafes, wanting to use the internet as a means to find employment, knowing that there are job boards out there, and wanting to use those job boards to expose themselves to potential employers. But so we try to help them. We put them onto the existing job boards. But to no avail for two reasons. Basically, no one's looking for entry-level people on these platforms, and there's limited access for these guys to actually expose themselves on these platforms. So we realized that there was a gap in the market. We realized that there was a definite need, and there was a gap. There was nothing out there that was really, you know, focusing on this specific need. So we built an online platform. It's a simple online platform. It's an internet job portal. But we realized that it was all very well having this online platform, but if nobody was actually using it or nobody had access to it, we had a major problem. There was a major disconnect. So what we did was we converted our internet cafes. We had 3 internet cafes throughout Johannesburg. We converted those to job centers. Basically what would happen is that candidates would come into the job centers and go through a process in the center. There had to be a way that that the candidate, we had to verify that the candidate that was on the platform was actually the candidate that had come through the centers. So we'd go through a process with them. We would photograph each individual, we'll scan in all the relevant documentation, their ID, their matric certificates, any other educational documentation that they may have, their driver's license if it was necessary. And we'd take them through a series of assessments. Those assessments were specifically designed around the employer's needs. So, for example, our flagship client was Dischem. They were looking for cashiers, And a cashier needed to have a certain level of cognitive understanding, had to understand English and be able to respond to questions that were asked for them. So we developed an assessment which was a multimedia assessment which would show a cross-section of a disc and broadsheet, and the guys would put on a set of earphones and they'd be asked various questions about what was going on in that graphical interface, and they'd have to plug in those answers onto the system, and all that information would be filtered up and be now accessible to our client. It sounds quite simple, but it really isn't. It really wasn't. Our pass rate, unfortunately, was not very high. I mean, it sounds like something that anybody could do, but the pass rate was between 10 and 20% in any given stage. So yeah, so we put an end-to-end recruitment service to the corporate. We have an advanced online screening and application platform. We guarantee the best suited candidates will go and end up in the jobs. We have a major social impact, and we obviously have a customized solutions as I spoke about. And we have strategic partnerships to better South Africa. So we realized, okay, so we had 3 centers. It's all very well having 3 centers, but we've got a national problem. We didn't have budget at the time to go and open up our own centers throughout the country. So we realized that we needed partners. We approached different government organizations. The Department of Social Development in Gauteng were very supportive of us. They supported us with the opening of 20 centers throughout Gauteng. Then we realized that we went back to where we came from and realized that there's 10,000 internet cafes around the country. And most of these guys are suffering. They're not actually seeing enough business. And what we've done is we've developed a system whereby we partner with them. We license our product to them, and they are our partners in accessing and putting people onto our platform. We currently have in excess of 70 sites open throughout the country, and that is expanding on a daily basis. As I said, we're a new business. We're only 3 years old. But in the process, we've got over 100,000 people on our centers, and we've got in the region of about 10 to 12,000 people employed through the system. Yeah, there's minimal setup costs. Basically, if you're running an internet cafe, you pretty much have everything you need. All you need is a couple of computers, a webcam, a scanner, and a printer, and you can run a Luluway job center. You can become one of our network job centers. How they benefit is there's financial benefit to them. They also benefit by actually, enhancing and uplifting their communities, and they benefit from, just basically contributing to the country at large. The synergy between the network job partners, they basically utilize Luluway's expertise. We have a customized solution to further the partners' goals. We partner together to serve the nation, and we provide highest quality labor to the private sector. It's just, the link between the on-the-ground platform and the online platform. So basically, we take the internet to the people, give them access to the World Wide Web, give them access to being exposed to a variety of potential employers, and making it easy for them. We make it as simple as possible for them to go through the process. But at the end of the day, there is a screening process, and the cream does rise to the top. The guys that have got the talent, the guys that are in the past wouldn't have had access, are suddenly on the top of the queue, and they're the guys that are being cherry picked, and those are the guys that are finding employment. It's just what one of our job centers look like. It's quite simple. It's not a complicated process. Okay, so the Luluway system for the candidate, as I said, the candidate enters the job center, gets photographed, scanning documentation. We give them all an indemnity form to fill out. So basically, obviously with the POPI Act, we obviously need to get their permission to expose them to potential employers. So we get an indemnity form to fill out. On that form is basic demographic information, also information about their past work history, educational information, etc., etc. We scan all this in. Then they sit with one of our consultants. A consultant sits with them and populates an online profile for them. That profile is also a CV which is printed out. It's a full color branded CV which is printed out and handed over to them that they can use obviously when going searching for a job. We screen, as I said, according to the employer's specifications. We do have generic screening tests or assessments. We do have basic numeracy, basic literacy, work readiness. Soft skills is a big one. Fortunately, the majority of the guys out there do not have the necessary soft skills to understand what it means to work in the workplace, to how to dress, to how to conduct yourselves, body language, etc., etc. So we screen for that as well. Each candidate gets an SMS confirming that they are on the system. Also, they get an SMS confirming what their results are with the various screening assessments that they go through. Just a graphical breakdown of how it works. You know, a candidate enters a job center. It's an online system, so we've got a physical system and we've got the online system, and now they're accessible once again to anybody who actually wants to go and look for them. Then we make that marriage, and then we step out of it. We're not labor brokers. We're not an employment agency. We don't get involved between the negotiation between employer and employee. That's not our business. We're a bridge. We're a conduit between the guy on the ground, the guy in the township, the guy in the rural area, and the national employer and the employer who's sitting in their offices in Sandton or wherever they may be. Benefits for the job seeker. It's a fair and broad-reaching job access. As I said, they get a professional CV. The minimal costs attached. Generally, if someone's looking for a job, it's a very expensive process. You know, you've got to catch a taxi into town. You've got to buy food. You've got to walk the streets. You've got to go to a local business center or internet cafe to get a CV done. You've got to fax the CV. There's a whole process that they go through, and generally that CV ends up in a dustbin. With our system, it's a national system in the sense that they can access this World Wide Web and have their CV out there for anybody to have access to. And obviously we store them on the database for future job opportunities. The benefits for the employer are quite substantial. Now the employer doesn't have to wade through hundreds of CVs to find the right candidates. I mean, I saw it with my own eyes and I experienced it firsthand was at Discam, who, as I said, was our flagship client, who we built the process around. How they used to screen and interview the candidates was quite a cumbersome process that was difficult for the employer and difficult for the job seeker, whereby they would have literally hundreds to, if not thousands, of people in their parking lot on any given day looking for work. And they would take these guys in bite-sized chunks, call it 100 people at a time, and they would hand out physical pieces of paper with questions on them, and they would mark those pieces of paper and then eliminate until they got to a point where they could actually go and employ, call it 50 guys at any given stage. And now that whole process has been taken away from them. Now they can literally go online, go onto their own profile on the system, see who's actually applied for their jobs, see who's gone through their assessments, filter according to their needs. It might be geographic, they're looking for 10 people in Centurion, or it might be specific to a specific job that they have at hand. They can make contact with those people via the system. They can SMS the system. They can SMS them through the system. They can manage the process and categorize. So if the person is in first interview stage or is in training or whatever it is, they can categorize, and they can take them all the way up to the stage of employment. Then once they're employed, they mark them off the system, and those guys are suddenly not accessible to any of their competitors. Obviously, to protect them and to protect the employer, the employee, they're taken off our system until a stage whereby they become unemployed at the stage. Benefits to the network job partner. As I said, we've got various models out there. We've got the internet cafe model, whereby we've partnered with internet cafes, we've partnered with government institutions, we've partnered with NGOs, and we've partnered with educational institutions. Certain FET colleges are now running Lulaway job centres. The government, as I said, we're in negotiations with various government departments about expanding our network at a rapid rate. As I said, the entrepreneur, the internet cafe, and so we have different models out there. So it increases foot traffic, more people come into the centres. As far as publicity is concerned, they get more publicity. The increased sales and revenue potential, and obviously community upliftment. I'm just going to close it with a video. Hopefully this one works.
7.5 million people. That's the number of youths actively seeking work in South Africa. A dynamic pool of talented, hungry individuals that your HR department may never meet. Until now. Changing the recruitment playing field, Lulaway makes the complex simple, the impossible attainable, and the difficult easy. With an online tool that gives you direct access to screened and tested entry-level workers wherever they may be. Taking the internet to the next level, and in partnership with the Gauteng Department of Social Development, Lulaway's on-the-ground job center network bridges the divide between your company and the pool of talent out there. All at the touch of a button.
Thank you very much.
Errol, thank you very much indeed. I think Godfrey started at the beginning talking about, times move on, and we need to have relevant applications. And I think that this one certainly is meeting that, something that's a great bridge between the employer and the job seeker, but also benefit to both. And there was, as we were going through that presentation, there's so many things that we take for granted. This word that stood out for me was this rural exclusion. A lot of young people just don't have access. And so these kinds of solutions, very, very welcome. And I can see that it's making a difference, particularly when you think about that unemployment crisis that we're facing. So, Errol, thank you very much indeed for some of us who perhaps have not known, but introducing us this wonderful solution, Lulaway. And we wish you the best of luck, because I think it certainly can make a difference for the employers and these job seekers that we certainly need to be helping. So, Errol Freeman, ladies and gentlemen, Managing Director at Lulaway. Okay, we're going to take a quick tea break, but before that, there's a car, a white Spark, and just in case you were thinking of stealing it, don't, because it's a car hire vehicle. So if you hired a vehicle and you left your keys at the registration desk, please come and get. I know you were nervous and you're wondering, oh my God, what am I going to do? And you're not paying attention to the presentations because you're worried about your keys. We found them, okay? So you can come to me at the front here. It's a Spark, and it's a budget hire car, okay? The other thing is, don't forget to poke in like mad. Presentations are on the screen. The exhibition as well. Please walk through there. Perhaps do a little bit in this session, another bit in the next, and it goes all the way down to the Emerald Room at the back. Now, before I discharge you, remember right at the beginning we played that video, and it didn't quite play. It didn't have sound at the beginning. So we're going to just play it again for you so that you can catch the first bit of it. So this is that video once again, and then after that you can go straight out for tea.
Our nation, our country, our future is built by scientists, by engineers, by innovators, by men and women who see value in learning and in change. The Moses Kotane Institute specializes in nurturing future leaders. We have been successfully skilling learners from underprivileged backgrounds since 2009 with our specialized learning programs. Anyone can change the world. They just need a chance.